Most likely, you've written Python code that looks like this. This is the basic for loop. It iterates over a list, and for each value in the list, that value is used in the body block of the for loop. But you can actually use your own classes in a for loop. Suppose you have a class that will return every nth item in a collection. This class will store a list of items, and calling the getNextItem method will return the item stored in the index of the items. If the index is out of range, it will raise an index error. To use this class, you would do something like this. First, create a new interval collection. Give it an interval of 3 and a list of integers. Now, loop a number of times, calling the getNextItem method on each iteration of the loop. Now this works, kind of. The loop depends on the index error to tell it when the collection has been exhausted. So the call to getNextItem needs to be in a try-except block. This also works, but the code is getting ugly. Plus, you still have to guess the number of iterations to try. Let's take one more crack at this. This eliminates the guesswork, but at the same time, the code is getting even uglier. The alternative is to create an iterable class. The class will implement two dunder methods. The first one, dunderIter, will initialize and return an iterator. The second, dunderNext, will return the next item or raise a stop iteration exception if there are no items remaining. Let's create such a class. First, create a new class called interval_iterable. The initializer will accept an interval and a list of items. The dunderIter method will set the initial index to 0. Then it will return the current instance of the class as the class implements the dunderNext method. Now for the dunderNext method. This method checks to see if the index is past the end of the list. If so, it raises a stop iteration. If not, it gets the next item, increments the index, and returns the item. And that's it. Now in the entry point, create a new instance of interval_iterable and loop over it. This works, but let's do a quick sanity check just to take a look under the hood. Set breakpoints on line 22 in the dunderIter method and on line 29 in the dunderNext method. Now debug the application. The debugger pauses in the dunderIter method. This is when the for loop begins, and notice that there's no output yet. Click the Continue button. The debugger pauses in the dunderNext method. This is the first iteration of the for loop. The item being returned is 0, the first item in the list. Click Continue again. The item 0 is displayed in the terminal window, and the debugger pauses again in the dunderNext method. And the item being returned is 3. Click Continue, and 3 is shown in the terminal window. And you can keep going. But this proves that the interval_iterable class is an iterable that can be used in a for loop like a list is. If you found this video helpful, please leave it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to be notified when new videos are released. If you have a topic you'd like to see a video on, leave me a comment below. Thanks for watching.